You've seen the title, so you know what this is about. But before I get into it, let's rehash some stuff that you may or may not already be aware of for the sake of context and clarity. As I have mentioned in the past, I have never played Last of Us 1, but I know enough about details of the story to understand why so many people loved it and why so many people are outraged at the direction that Naughty Dog has chosen to go with the story. At the end of the game, Ellie is in the custody of the Fireflies, a group that believes it can cure the zombie mushroom plague by using Ellie, who is immune. But Joel finds out that to do it, they would need to remove a part of her brain. Since Joel had already lost his biological daughter at the beginning of the first game, and Ellie had become like a second daughter to him, and he had no wish to experience that sense of loss and grief a second time, he kills the Fireflies before they can operate on Ellie and rescues her. He then lies to her, telling her that there is no cure, and that the Fireflies were mistaken. The game ended with the plague still in existence and humanity still on the brink of extinction. There were any number of possibilities for a sequel. Does Ellie find out what Joel did? How does she react? Does it strain their relationship? If so, do they work things out? Does it cause a permanent rift between them? Is a cure ever found? There were so many different things that could have been explored with this game, but Naughty Dog forced out Amy Hennig, the woman who was a driving force behind the studio's best games, and they began to virtue signal hardcore. It began with the DLC. Ellie was revealed to be a lesbian. Why? Just why? What the hell kind of sense did that make in a world where any sane person would be more concerned with surviving the apocalypse than focusing on sexuality? And of course, Ellie's girlfriend had to be black because diversity. Fast forward to now. The focus is not on Joel and Ellie's relationship and how they survive in a fucked up zombie apocalypse. No, the focus is on Ellie and her girlfriend getting down and dirty. Oh yeah, hot lesbian sex. Because this is exactly what the focus of a zombie apocalypse game should be. Joel gets killed early on by the GameStop ma'am. I mean, the daughter of a murdered Firefly scientist who looks very mannish and ugly, leading many to speculate that she's a tranny. The game makes you play at least part of the time as the murderer of Joel, and somewhere in the mix is a Christian cult who hates homosexuals. Bravo, Naughty Dog. Sacrifice and mistreat loved characters in the name of pushing identity politics, pandering to SJWs, and shitting on an entire religious group. And of course, if you criticize any of this, you will be labeled as some variety of ism, or phobe. We saw this when Druckmann posted that famous saying by Kurt Cobain about fans not buying their records if they hated homosexuals, women, or minorities. It's all these mentally sick people know how to do when they're called out on their bullshit. They retaliate with labels. If you don't agree with them, you are automatically wrong, and you are automatically a bigot. Now that that's out of the way, let me tell you the two reasons that Last of Us 2 needs to fail. Number one, there is a cancer of political correctness and SJW pandering in gaming right now. Companies are more worried about not offending a vocal minority that doesn't give a shit about their products than actually creating good gaming experiences. Last of Us 2 is perhaps the most glaring example right now of this huge problem in the gaming industry. We are seeing this in other franchises right now as well, such as Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, and comics. Astonishingly, many of these companies don't seem to care that they are losing money. Instead, they are doubling down on the virtue signaling and SJW pandering. Well, okay then. We need to vote with our wallets. Tell every company on this bullshit train that we want good entertainment, whatever form that may take. We buy entertainment products not to be preached at, but to be entertained. Imagine that. If they insist on continuing to double down on the bullshit, then we just need to ignore them until they go out of business from lack of funds. Maybe then they will be replaced by people who actually care about making a good product. Reason number 2? Soyny. I've said it once, and I'll say it again. Fuck Soyny. Soyny's response to the leaks was utterly disgraceful, not to mention illegal. Naturally, controversial story decisions like this were going to spark debate and criticism, and many people had very strong opinions to express. How did Soyny react? Soyny reacted by abusing the copyright system to illegally strike YouTube channels that dared to talk about the leaks, even if they weren't using any leaked material. And I called them Sony just now. It should have been Soyny, because they are full of soy boys. People who depend on YouTube as a source of income had their channels put at risk because Soyny was worried about sales and pre-order numbers. Look, I don't care how many good exclusives Soyny has. I don't care how mind-blowing the PS5 is. Soyny is a vile and unethical company that does not deserve to be supported. It is up to every gamer with any sense of integrity to refrain from buying Last of Us 2. I could extend this to talk about not buying the PS5, but I talked about that in a previous video, so I'll just end things here. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.